Welcome to Leesburg Today's Daily Update for August 23rd. I'm Samantha Bartram. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office is investigating 2 weekend crimes that you may be able to help solve. The first is a reported assault and robbery that occurred Sunday night in Sterling. A 23-year-old Sterling man said he was walking in the area of North College Drive and East Furman Drive around 9 p.m. when he was attacked by 3 men, one threatening him with a knife. The muggers took cash and the victim received minor injuries during the assault. The suspects were all described as being black males in their late teens to early 20s, approximately 5 foot 6 inches to 5 foot 10 inches tall with medium builds. Anyone with information in the case should contact the Sheriff's Department at 703-777-0475. Callers wishing to remain anonymous may call Loudoun Crimesolvers at 703-777-1919. Also, investigators are asking for your help in identifying the armed robber who hit a Subway restaurant Friday in Ashburn. Today, they released video footage to help with that task. Around 11 a.m. August 20th, deputies were called to the Broadlands Center Plaza where a man entered the store, displayed a firearm, and demanded cash. The suspect was described as a black male in his early to mid-20s, about 6 feet tall, with a thin build and short cropped hair. The suspect appeared to have some scarring on his right arm. He was last seen wearing a baggy white t-shirt and dark blue pants, shoes with white around the soles and on the toes, and a baseball-style hat with a white emblem or writing on the front. Several residents reported seeing a possible suspect on foot in the area. A search was conducted by deputies, police dogs, and the Fairfax County Police Department helicopter, but no suspect was located. Anyone with information regarding the robbery should contact investigator M. Halley at 703-777-0475. To remain anonymous, call 703-777-1919. If the information leads to an arrest and indictment, the caller could be eligible for a cash reward of up to $1,000. On the political front, the 2 men working to oust longtime Republican incumbent Frank Wolf for the 10th District's congressional seat debated today in an Ashburn forum organized by the Northern Virginia Tea Party. Democrat Jeff Barnett and Libertarian Bill Redpath debated topics important to those who self-identify as members of the Tea Party, from health care and immigration to national security and the economy. Both candidates had strong words about the economy and how the country reached its current state, but they differed on what the government should do about excessive spending and entitlements like Social Security. Barnett highlighted the differences between short-term deficit spending and the larger structural deficit.
I think it's important to understand, at least from my perspective, we have 2 types of deficits right now. We have a structural deficit, and then we have this temporary stimulus deficit. Originally it was $787 billion. Now it's repriced to $862. So we call it an $800 billion deficit. But that's temporary. That's temporary. This is Keynesian economics. We're in a severe recession. We're in danger of going into a Great Depression. We learned this under Hoover in the 30s, 80 years ago. And since then, whenever we got into a recession, a deep one, government temporarily borrowed. Now we're in a massive one because of some mistakes made during George W. Bush years, but we're in it. We have to spend to avoid a Great Depression. Now, we also have, though, this structural deficit, where for years we've been taxing at 18% of GDP and spending at 22% of GDP. So we have this $500 to $600 billion deficit. We're not going to cut our way out of it. We're not going to tax our way out of it. We're not going to grow our way out of it. We're going to have to get real growth. We're going to have revenue increases, and we're going to have significant spending cuts to work our way out of this. But it is workable.
Redpath said the federal government must curb its reach into what he believes are state and local issues, including education and housing.
The federal government of the United States had to account for their liabilities in the same way that corporations do under generally accepted accounting principles, and actually recognize liabilities when they are incurred or when promises are made. That if we took the present value of the future expenditures of the federal government minus the present value of the future revenues of the federal government. The difference would be $202 trillion. 202. That is over 13 times the gross domestic product of the United States. That is how serious a situation we have here. The first thing we need to do is cut government spending. I don't know when the short run becomes the long run. After all, the long run is made up of a bunch of short runs. But what we need to do is get government out of doing things it shouldn't be doing in the first place. That means goodbye, Department of Housing and Urban Development. Goodbye, Department of Education. It's always a good time to end corporate welfare. It's always a good time to end farm subsidies, and I mean end them now. And we need to reform entitlements. There is no getting around that. We have to reform Social Security. I favor the Cato Institute's 6.2% plan. We have to make changes to Medicaid and Medicare. We have to significantly reform our income tax system by going to a flat tax.
Wolf declined to participate in the forum. The incumbent has previously stated he participates in one forum and one debate each election and would continue on that path. Barnett and Redpath used the Republicans' absence to challenge his record on certain issues, including transportation and taxes. Finally, the Leesburg Optimist Club is accepting registrations for its annual golf tournament, scheduled for Monday, September 13th at Stoneleigh Golf and Country Club in Round Hill. The day begins at 8:30 a.m. with a continental breakfast, followed by a shotgun start at 9 a.m. The tournament is captain's choice format with prizes awarded to the top 3 teams, longest drive, and closest to the pin. A complimentary goodie bag and warm-up at the driving range will be held immediately prior to the event. $99 registration includes a cart, green fees, breakfast, beer, soda, or water, a catered lunch, and door prizes. All proceeds benefit the Optimist Club's programs, which fund scholarships for area high school students and provide other opportunities to Loudoun County youths. For further information, including registration details, sponsorship opportunities, and more, visit the website you see below or contact Ken Franklin at 703-669-2612. For more on these and other stories around our community, visit us online at leesburgtoday.com.